स्वामिन् नमस्ते नतलोकबन्धो कारुण्यसिन्धो पतितं भवाब्धौ मामुद्धरात्मीयकटाक्षदृष्ट्या ऋज्व्यातिकारुण्य सुधाभिवृष्ट्या स्वामिन् नमस्ते स्वामिन् नमस्ते स्वामिन् नमस्ते स्वामिन् नमस्ते। यत्कीर्तनं यत्स्मरणं यदीक्षणं यद्वन्दनं यच्छ्रवणं यदर्हणं लोकस्य सद्यो विधुनोति कल्मषं तस्मै सुभद्रश्रवसे नमो नमः। विचक्षणाय चरणोपसादनात् संगं युदस्योभयतोऽन्तरात्मनः विन्दन्ति हि ब्रह्मगतिं गतक्लमाः तस्मै सुभद्रश्रवसे नमो नमः। विचक्षणाय चरणोपसादनात् संगं युदस्योभयतोऽन्तरात्मनः विन्दन्ति हि ब्रह्मगतिं गतक्लमाः तस्मै सुभद्रश्रवसे नमो नमः तस्मै सुभद्रश्रवसे नमो नमः।
जय गुरु जय गुरु जय गुरु। The first sloka, Swamin Namaste, is from Viveka Chudamani, where a Shishya approaches the Guru. He is a person who has lot of questions in his mind. In the life he finds, the life is full of anxiety, tension, fear. And so he is in search of a person who can relieve him from all this fear, delusion, misery and everything. So he comes and with folded hands falls at the feet of the Guru. And he says, Swamin Namaste Nataloka Bandho. You who are the friend of anybody who prostrates at your feet, I offer my pranams to you. Namaste. You who are Karuna Sindhu, ocean of mercy, and you lift up anybody who feels frightened, who feels scared. So me, who feels always that I am drowning in this ocean, worldly ocean, drowning means I am surrounded by a lot of anxieties and fear. So I feel sometimes I am drowning. Sometimes I feel as if the earth is going away from under my feet. Sometimes I feel scorched by the fire of worldliness. So, Mam Uddhara, please rescue me, protect me, rescue me, lift me up. Atmiya Kataksha Drishtya, by your Kataksha Drishti, by your Drishti or glance of mercy, compassion. Rijvyati karunya sudhabhivristya, and showering on me your nectarine, compassionate glance. Relieve me, protect me. This is from Viveki Chudamani. And the two other slokas are from Bhagavatam. Yat kirtanam, yat smaranam, yadikshanam, yad vandanam, yad shravanam, yadarhanam. So, singing about whom, remembering whom, looking at whom, doing vandana or worship of whom, hearing about whom, immediately all the impurities from the mind gets removed. Tasmai Subhadra Shravase Namo Namaha. Subhadra Shravasa is the name of the Supreme Lord. That is, about whom it is always pleasing to hear. So, these three shlokas generally I have selected to start my lectures. As you know, I am very fond of chanting shlokas. And when I start with one shloka, many others will come into my mind. And earlier days, I would remember shlokas very fast. If once or twice or thrice I read, I would remember it. Nowadays, whatever I know, I forget. Because of age, because of maybe the sickness I had. And many shlokas we cannot really, the new shlokas which we come across, it's not easy to remember everything, so we have to write down. But the fact is that so many shlokas come and crowd. And not to be able to chant the shlokas is giving me a lot of unhappiness. But what can be done? I have to accept that also. Anyway, it is always very, very nice to talk about the self, about God, because at least for that time, the mind gets filled with those experiences. When we read Bhagavatam, we feel that God is just surrounding us. He is with us. And many of the things, the Bhagavatam actually, it talks about bhakti. Bhakti of the devotees, of the kings who were great devotees. So when we read about the devotion of such noble devotees, our mind also gets filled with devotees. And the 10th skandha is full of Krishna's birth and Leela. Actually, when Swamiji asked me to read Bhagavatam, he said that you start with 10th skandha. And it was a joy reading it. Even now, all of you will agree with me that when we listen to these episodes, the narrations, especially when we listen about Sri Krishna's pranks or what he did, his Leela, the mind becomes very much, pleased, delighted. It melts. I'm just remembering two shlokas. We'll come back to where we stopped yesterday, but I want to tell you these two shlokas today. There is a book, a composition called Sri Krishna Karnamritam, written by Leela Shuka. It is said that Leela Shuka, who was a poet, he started writing about Krishna. And he had a Krishna idol, and it is said that he kept Krishna idol near him, and he was composing the shlokas. Whichever shloka, so after writing one shloka, he'll look at Krishna, and it seems whichever Krishna approved of or liked, Krishna used to nod his head. So that will be taken. And the one in which Krishna would not nod, he will reject it. So there, Krishna's pranks, when Krishna was small, little Krishna's many episodes are written in poetry form. So one is like this. Kastvam balaha balanuja kimihate Manmandirashankaya Yuktam Tannavaneeta Bhanda Vivare Hastam Kimartham Nyasehe Mata Vatsakam Rigaitum Maga Vishadam Shanat Ityeva Varavallavi Prativachaha Krishnasa Pushnatuna. These shlokas, there are few of them. Each, the fourth line, stops with Sacha Krishna, let Sacha Krishna protect us. But the first three lines is describing Krishna's some naughty prank. So here this one says, one Gopika, she suddenly found, when she entered, she was doing some work in the garden, and when she came inside the house, she found Krishna and his friends all near the pots of butter. The pots of butter were hanging from the ceiling, and they had climbed one over the other. Sometimes they would get stools to climb. If stools were not there, then one boy will stand over the shoulder of one boy, another will stand, over that another will stand, and ultimately they will get the mud pot which would be hanging. So that day the Gopika caught Krishna red-handed with his troop. So she says, Kwastvam Balaha, Are, who are you? Bala, Beta tum kaun ho? He says in a very soft voice, Balanujaha. He is not saying I am Krishna. He says I am the brother of Balarama. Why? Balarama is a very quiet person, never doing anything naughty. So saying that I am brother of Balarama, younger brother of Balarama, he'll escape. So he says Balanujaha. Kimihate. Okay, you are brother of Balarama. Why you have come here? Oh, don't you know? Manmandirashankaya. I thought this is my house. So I have come. Yuktam. Okay, that is also okay. Tan navanita bhanda vivare hastam kimartham nyasehe. So navanita is makhan, butter. Can you tell me, my lad, why your hand is inside this butter pot? Why you have put your hand inside this? So he replies, Mataha vatsakam rigaitum. Mother, don't you know? When we go grazing the cows and calves, we count. And when we bring them back, we count. Now, there is one less. One calf is less in the group. So I am hunting that calf everywhere. I thought that calf may be inside this pot. So I am trying to find it. So such a Krishna who talks like this, let that Krishna protect us. But see, this is just 4-lined poetry. How much delight it gives us. Then another is, Krishna comes rushing to Yashoda. Mata kim yadunatha dehi chashakam kim tena patum payaha nastadya kadapi va nishi nisha kavapyandhakaro dayaha amelyakshi yugam nisham upagata dehi timatar muhuhu. Isme, he's saying, he just rushes in and goes to Yashoda, saying, Ma, kim Yadunatha? What has happened, Yadunatha? Why are you shouting? Dehi chashakam, give me a plate. So mother says, Kim tena, what will you do with the plate? Patum payaha, I will drink milk, pouring the hot milk into the plate. So the mother says, Nastadya. No, this is not the time for drinking milk. So he becomes very disappointed. So he says, Kadapi va, when is the time for drinking milk, mother? Mother says, Nishi, at night. So he asks, Nishi kava, what is night? As if he doesn't know. He's asking, what is night? Mother says, Andhakaro dayaha. Whenever it becomes dark, it is night. what he did? Amilakshi yugam nisham upagata. He immediately closed his eyes and said, Andhakara has come. So, Dehi iti mataha mohu. So, and saying, closing the eyes and saying that Andhakara has come, so it is night. So please give me milk, give me milk, give me milk. Saying this, started pulling Yashoda's sari. Such a Krishna who did like this, let him protect us. So these are some of the... So that is why in Bhagavatam it is always said that listen to his Leela Kathas. Listen, read, and also do vichara. The vichara is why we are feeling like this, why this joy comes to us, who is this? Then the mind will start feeling who has embodied as Krishna, what is he? And then we find that he is that self, the universal Lord, who has taken birth as Lord Krishna. So we were going through what Prabuddha, the Navayogi, one of the Navayogis, what he said. He said that Tasmad Gurum Prapadyeta Jidnyasu Shreya Uttamam Shabde Parecha Nishnatam Brahman Yupashamashrayam Tatra Bhagavatan Dharman Shikshet Guruvatma Devataha. That is, you must have a guru in your life. You may be going to various Mahatmas, but you must have a guru sitting at whose feet you can learn the Bhagavata dharmas. That is, what is the pursuit, what you should do to increase your bhakti. To increase your bhakti means what? Constantly getting the touch of the Supreme Lord in your heart. And even when we are active, we find in everything we can see God. Everywhere we find His touch. So, I was saying this, Sarvato Manaso Sangam. Always be unattached, non-possessive. That is, we are attached to, first of all, to the body, then to everything associated with the body, like husband, wife, children, parents, friends, relatives, neighbors, and extended family, extended neighborhood. So, have this asangata. Do not get attached. Do everything. Do your duty. But you should not be attached, knowing that all these are perishable. All these are perishable. The world itself is always changing. It will not remain as it is. So, do not get attached. And saying that, I was telling you how Prahlada, who was a great bhakta of Lord Vishnu, Lord Hari, how he had asked or taken the boon from Narasimha that, O Lord, if at all you want to give me a boon that I have no desire in my mind. That Prahlada, later on when he was a king, every day he would go to a place called Harivarsha, where Lord Narasimha was worshipped. And he would go with all his people of the Sabha, his ministers and all others who would like to follow him. And going there after worshipping, every day he used to have some prayers. I'll read out these prayers. He would say, Swastyastu Vishwasya Khalah Prasidatam Dhyayantu Bhutani Shivam Mithodhiya Manascha Bhadram Bhajatad Adhokshaje Aveshyatam No Matirapya Hetuki. This is in the 5th skandha. 5th skandha, 18th chapter. After worshipping Narahari, he is praying. And what is he praying? आप लोग क्या प्रेयर करते हैं जब गुरु के पास आते हैं? मेरा फैमिली ठीक रहे, सबसे पहले Let my family be all right, my son be all right, daughter-in-law be all right, daughter be all right, and grandchildren be all right, etc., etc. He says, Swastyastu Vishwasya Khalah Prasidatam. May all the world be happy. So this is what. Once we read this, our mind also should expand. We should not. Yes, you pray for your family. You should. But pray for others also. Others also. Your mind should not be only constricted around your family, around your near and dear ones, but it should expand to others. Think of others. So, may all the world be happy. May the wicked men also attain purity and peace. May their minds be at peace, and may our minds also always flow with devotion to the holy lotus feet of the Supreme Lord, free from all the promptings of worldly desires. So what has he prayed for? He has prayed for the whole world. He has prayed for the wicked people. He has not only prayed for my queen and my wealth and my children. He has prayed for everything. And he is saying, let us not be prompted by worldly desires. Let us not go behind worldly desires, thinking that those will give us happiness. Let our mind with pure love flow to the holy lotus feet of Sri Hari. Then he says, Ma gara daratmaja vitta bandhushu sango yadi syat bhagavad priyeshu naha. And may we be free from attachment to house, wife, sons, wealth and relatives. What is he praying for? He is not praying that I have got this much of property, this much of wealth, this much of kingdom, and I want to have more and more places won by my soldiers. He is not saying that. He is not saying my treasury should be filled with more and more of wealth. He is saying may we be free from attachment to house, wife, sons, wealth and relatives. Now assess yourself. Throughout the day, does any of you have this prayer? हाथ उठाइए थोड़ा. कोई करता है? Nobody used. We do not pray for that because we do not think that this attachment is actually giving us misery in life. Maybe it gives a lot of happiness also, but ultimately it gives misery. That is why we are so scared. The near and dear ones, suppose something happens to them, and we do not know what will happen to whom at what time. If we are to be attached to any, let it be to the devotees of the Lord. So if attachment has to be there, let it be to the devotees of the Lord. Let it be to the holy people. In Kapilopadesha, Kapila and Devahuti Samvada, that is in 3rd Skandha, Devahuti, Kapila's mother, Kapila was a part of Narayana. He took birth. And Devahuti, as a mother, tells him that, my son, all this while, I have only run after sensuous pleasures, thinking that whatever I enjoy in the worldly life will give me happiness. Now, at this point of time, I want you to give me some instruction by which I will develop bhakti for the Lord, and I want to realize the Supreme Lord in my heart. So Kapila gives him some upadesha. And Kapila says that prasanga majaram pasham atmanah kavayo viduhu saeva sadhushu krito mokshadvaram apavritam. We become attached to the worldly objects with this foolish idea that we will be happy by them. So that attachment, if we can turn to the noble people, Mahatmas, saints, and the Guru, then moksha dwaram apavritam. Moksha dwara will be open for us. Why? Because when we get associated with a holy person, he will only talk about self, God. He will be understanding where is your constriction, where is your fear. He will be talking about that state always where there is no fear, where there is always happiness and peace. He will be only talking about that. So hearing and hearing and hearing, the mind will become elevated. Mind will want to hear about that more and more. So that is why it is said that if you have attachment, that attachment you turn towards a holy person. Then you will get nishreyasa, nissangatva, non-attachment you will get. So that way, I think all of us are very, very fortunate that we have in our lives the association of a holy person. But we must make use of that association. How much time we think about God, how much time we think about our family and worldly things. It's not that you don't have to think about your family. We must, because that is our duty. But apart from duty, whatever is absolutely necessary, are we spending the rest of the time usefully? Bhagavatam says, the moment or the moments when you have thought about God, those moments you have actually lived. Rest of the time actually you have lived like a dead person. Even if your life is short, but you have thought about God in that short life, you are liberated. Even in a long life, you do not ever think of God, then that life is wasted. This is how Bhagavatam tries to tell us what is our duty, what should be our pursuit, what we should do. Now, reading all these things, I am only taking a small portion. For 3 days I am giving 3 lectures. It's not enough. We must read. And as we read, our own pursuit, our own routine, our own discipline, we must find out. I may tell you do this, you do that, according to what is written here. But everybody's life is different. Everybody's family situation is different. So according to that family situation, according to the state of life where you are in, you find out how best you can get your time to spend at the feet of the Lord, loving Him always. And while you are doing your work, because we are karmamaya, we are always doing work. So during the work, how we can consider or feel that every little thing or a big thing that I am doing, it is for God. It is given by God and I am trying to do it. So, sarvato manaso sangam, adau sangam cha sadhushu. So, in the company of holy men, an aspirant naturally happens to hear about the Lord's excellences. And by virtue of the communion, the devotees establish with the Lord a very close relationship. What happens? Through the ear, you are hearing. And those sweet sports or leelas of the Lord enter your heart. As much as you read, as much as you think over them, say you have a daughter. The daughter has gone to study somewhere else. And every day she talks to you about what she has done or not done. While you are doing your work, you will be thinking about the daughter or the son. She has done this or he has done this, eaten this. How? Why? Because you love. So that love has to come. How the love will come for a God whom we do not even know? We have to We do not know God. We do not get His touch. Maybe sometimes we feel, yes, God is there. When something goes according to our wishes, we feel God is there. When something goes wrong, we feel God is not there, never looks after me. So, how will you think about Him? How will you love Him? Only by repeatedly reading about Him, repeatedly reading about what other devotees think about Him, how they are devoted, how they in their life have shed tears to get the touch of God. We have to also do that. So, how best you can do? You remain in your household. Who is going to talk about God? Friends will talk about all others. Our nature of human beings is when we talk with another person, we will be talking about a third person. Always. Always about a third person. If you are in a group, we will be talking about something else, finding fault with somebody, criticizing somebody. Mostly it is like that. So, who is going to tell you about God or self? That is why we should go to the sadhus. And he will be talking to you about the Lord's excellences. He will be talking and maybe reading about something from the Shastras, the various books, and tell you this is what is written here, there. This is how you can improve yourself. This is you can improve your bhakti. This is how you can get rid of your undesirable traits. He will explain. And hearing, the love for listening to those episodes and other things will come to you. So, Prahlada was praying like this. There are more, but I have taken only 3. And Sarvataha Manasaha Asangam. Now the question comes. He is praying that, oh God, see to it that we do not get attached to anything. How will you really not get attached? In the 11th skandha, Krishna is telling how you can remain unattached. I think attachment is the biggest enemy for all of us. We get attached. And that is why when many things give us a lot of misery, because we get attached and we have expectation. The husband and wife will have husbandly and wifely expectations from each other. Parents will have similar expectations from the children. The children should behave like this or that. Children have similar expectations from parents, and so on. So expectation, because of attachment, expectation arises. And all expectations do not get fulfilled. Then we are unhappy. We are sorry. And many times we are not able to get it out of your head. A son whom you have brought up, you have given education, got him married, he is very settled. After marriage, he just leaves you and goes away with his wife, staying separately. Many of the parents are not able to accept that. Similarly, so many things are there, you will know much better. So, our Shastras are saying how you can remain unattached. It says, Kutumbeshu na sajjeta, na pramadyet kutumbyapi, vipaschit nashyaram pashyed, adrishtam api drishtavat. Putra darapta bandhunam sangama pantha sangamaha, anudeham vyantete swapno nidranugodhatha. So he says, even though one has a family, one should not get too much attached to its members. Without any slackness, that one should be vigilant in regard to the true nature of life. That is, be vigilant. Be always careful. Do not get attached. So not to get attached, what we have to do? Introspection. We must have viveka. First day itself, I told you one shloka where it says that when we get satsanga, when we hear all these things, when we read these things, if we do vichara, if we do manana, then we will understand that the cause of attachment, what is the cause of attachment? And then we can find how the mind is getting attached to the body, like some disease has come, we are not able to accept. Why? Even people are not able to accept old age. They will keep on saying, I used to do this, I was able to do this, now why is it that I am not able to do? One is not able to accept. I used to remember everything earlier, now I am not able to. And that will be the song. Whomever that person will meet, they will be constantly saying this. So the misery comes. So we have to be very, very alert. Alert, vivekavan, that is introspect and find out the cause of your attachment. The association with sons, wives, dear friends and relatives is no better than the chance gathering of a group of travelers in a dharmashala. Just like in a dharmashala or when we go in a train, we meet so many people. Say we are 24 hours or sometimes maybe 36 to 48 hours we travel from going to Jamshedpur to ashram, it will take 48 hours. So you come to meet so many people. The children of the other family will become very close to you. And it will be one family sharing food, sharing stories and all that. And when the station comes, simply one family will get down and go. Never to meet again. Earlier days, nowadays we write down our phone numbers and mobile numbers. Earlier days, you won't even meet them. I remember one person telling me that person, some people are very good with children. And when children see them, even unknown children will immediately get attached to them. So this person was saying that in his journey, the children, one son of one family, young boy, got so much attached. And when they were to get down earlier, so the family they were packing up and binding up and took the child, said, chalo, chalo, utrenge. Wouldn't leave, was crying so much. So, this is what happens. We have to think, in our life also, whatever is our life, it is just like meeting of people, travelers, and meeting them in a dharmashala or in a running train. And it happens also. Where have our friends in the school gone? At one point we used to think that we are all together, we will never leave each other, so much connected to each other. वो सब कहाँ चले गए? Similarly, from college or the neighborhoods where we have stayed in our childhood, in our youth, if we have changed places, where have they gone? Similarly, the absolutely near and dear ones of the family is like that. Suddenly, somebody will pass away. New bonds will be there. It is just like traveler. So these are, the jnana that the Shastra wants to give us. Think like this. At least, sometimes of the day, think like this. A person will not get attached to the home if he reflects on this truth and lives in the home like a guest, without any feeling of I and mine. A guest comes in the house, they will not feel that this is my house. With one's own house, one has a mamatva. So, if there is, say, a tap leaking, you will feel that it has to be immediately repaired, or something is torn, say the sofas are getting torn, so you feel like replacing them. I mean, you want your house to look nice. But A guest will not take that much interest. We understand it very well in the ashram. We have guest houses, no? Oh, the manner in which people behave. They don't have any mamatva for the furnitures or other things, not all, but many. And we get the news from our working servants. They come and tell us that these people, they have left the room so dirty, or this thing has broken, they have never told us. So, the way a guest uses a facility, our Swamiji is always very, very meticulous about these things. He says that whenever we go somewhere and we have stayed, we should leave that place clean and neat. Never leave it unclean. When Swamiji had a surgery, prostate surgery, long back, and we stayed in a hospital in Chennai. So that was a very super speciality hospital. Now they wouldn't allow food to be brought from outside, but Swamiji had a very special food. Those days he was only on a single diet, every day the same thing, without any masala and everything. Only few vegetables he could digest at that time. So, one devotee's house was nearby. So that devotee offered to make food and bring. We took special permission from the hospital authorities, and they said, okay, for Swamiji you can bring. So that devotee brought with a lot of love. She has prepared food, she has brought, but she brought in whatever bags and all that was available to her in her house. They were not looking very posh according to the hospital. So, nobody told anything, but they were not looking very, very much up to the mark. Maybe Swamiji noticed it and told me, go immediately and buy suitable vessels and suitable bag which will be suitable for the hospital. They have allowed us to bring food from outside. So we should bring it in proper clean bags and clean vessels. Similarly, he says, if we have lived anywhere, sometimes we have to live, when we go to America, sometimes we have to live in hotels. So, or we have gone and we are staying with somebody's house, or even our centers, always see to it that when you leave the place, it is neat and clean. So here it says, be like a guest without any feeling of I and mine. Even in your house, be like a guest. Never have a feeling of I and mine with regard to anything or anybody in life. He whose mind is extremely attached to the home, ever worried with thoughts of his children, wealth and luxuries, and is pitiably petty-minded, and it is absolutely ignorant. Ignorant of what? Ignorant of the spiritual matters, of how you can improve spiritually, how you can progress spiritually, so that you will constantly have peace and happiness. Ignorant of that. He gets fastened by this I-ness and mine-ness. He gets fastened by I-ness and mine-ness. So, he will say, oh, what will happen if I die? What will my wife do? What my parents do? As if after dying you are to see what they are doing. So his thoughts will be constantly in that. So what we understand from this, throughout the day, sometime even, we must think about the true nature of life. In Bhagavad Gita, in the 13th chapter, it has said very clearly, Indriyartheshu vairagyam, anahankara evacha, janma mrityu jara vyadhi dukkha doshanu darshanam, asaktir anabhishwangaha putradara grihadishu, nityam cha samachittatvam, ishtanishtopabattishu. Indriyartheshu vairagyam. The sense organs are constantly going and trying to get pleasure from this thing, that thing, that thing, hearing something, tasting something, seeing something, short-lived pleasures. Indriyartheshu vairagyam. You must have vairagya for that. Control them. See that it does not distract you from your path. If we give indulgence to that, what will happen? You will forget about God. Because abhi bola na, God ko to pata hi nahi hai kya hai. And thinking about God, we do not get happiness and peace immediately. But if the indriyas are interacting with objects, immediate pleasure is had. You get a good food, you go and take it, you feel very happy. You want to see good sight, you go there, you are happy. So immediate pleasure is there, though it is short-lived. But since we are not understanding it, we do not develop that vairagya, do not control it. Anahankara evacha. You must not be proud or egoistic. Whatever we are doing, there should not be a feeling that I have done, I am so important, I am so great, everybody should listen to me. If I give some opinion or views in a get-together or a meeting, it should be heard. And if it is not heard, you get annoyed or you leave the meeting. All these things are very common. Janma mrityu jara vyadhi dukkha doshanu darshanam. Every day, at least for some time, think about this janma mrityu jara vyadhi dukkha. Dukkha from janma. Say a child is born and then child dies after some time, or maybe after becoming age of 25, 30, the parents have a putra shoka. So even from the janma of a child, there is a possibility of getting dukkha. Mrityu, jara, vyadhi, dukkha. So the dosha of all these things, the life that is we are leading, we must understand that we may face such dukkha. So what should be our idea? Oh, such dukkha I may face. Is there any state in life reaching where I will be in such a state of mind that I will, even though this dukkha is faced by me, I will be still stable. I will not get affected. This is Bhagavad Gita is saying, and in Bhagavatam it says that you be so much surrounded by God, so much in love of God, that you want nothing. And so when anything will come, any such dukkha comes, you will not feel it, because his mind is full with devotion to God. Asaktir anabhishvangaha. Asakti, here also in Bhagavad Gita also, asakti is talked about, that is, we should not be attached. Anabhishvangaha, identification. Identification with our children, our house, and all that. Asaktir anabhishvangaha putradara grihadishu. So with children, house, so everywhere, whether it is Bhagavatam, it is Bhagavad Gita, it is saying that do not get attached. Always try to introspect and see that you understand the true nature of life, true nature of yourself, understand how bhakti can take you ahead in such a manner that you will get para shanti. So let us see what it says further. It says, so sangam cha sadhushu. It says that think like this. Think like what? That this is not mine, this family is not mine, all others are not mine. Even though I have to look after them, they do not belong to me, they belong to God. Oh God, everything belongs to you. This is the way the devotional person will say. A devotee will say, oh God, I am yours, and all that I feel belongs to me also belongs to you. Unless you look after them, I cannot protect. So there is a beautiful shloka here, Prahlada says. It says that we feel that the parents are looking after or protecting the children. But can parents protect the children? There are many parents whose children have immaturely died. Have they been able to? It says that even medicine cannot cure a patient. If you are on a boat and you think with the boat you can go across a river, if you do not want, the boat will drown. So, O God, unless your kripa is there, nobody can protect anybody. So what is the way? Yesterday I told that shloka, start worshipping God, so that the bhaya, the fear, leaves your mind. You hold on to Achyuta, who is eternal, who will never change, who is always there for you. Hold on to him and fill your mind with such bhakti so that you will have that feeling of protection always. Then develop these qualities. Dayam, Maitrim, Prashrayam cha, Bhuteshraddha yathochitam. You develop these qualities. Daya, Maitri is friendship, Prashrayam is humility, and to all the beings, all creatures, you must have these qualities. We must have Daya, Maitri, Prashrayam. Actually, if we start thinking about God, listening about God, loving God, automatically these qualities will come. It has to come. Shaucham. Shaucham is purity of the mind and body. Body should be clean, dresses should be clean. It's not that we have to wear very costly dresses, but clean dress. And the place where we stay should be clean. Tapaha. We must do tapasya. What is the tapasya? There is a Bhagavad Gita. I don't know how many of you read it regularly, but there is a shloka. It's a very beautiful shloka. When I came across it for the first time, I found that the mind was just getting bathed. Manaprasada saumyatvam maunamatma vinigraha. This is the 16th shloka of 17th chapter. Manaprasada saumyatvam maunam atma vinigraha bhava samshuddhihi ityetat tapo manasam uchyate. It is talking about tapasna. So we need not do all kind of tapas, taking upavasa or staying awake at night. All those things we need not do. But manasa tapas we can do. What? What is the manasa tapas? Mental tapas. What is mental tapas? Mana prasadaha. Keeping the mind always serene. Trying to keep it serene. So what will happen? If you have taken this pursuit, if you feel that, okay, let this be my aim. For some time I will follow this. What? I will not allow my mind to become agitated or irritated. Not getting angry. Mana prasadaha. Saumyatvam. Gentleness. To whomever you interact, with whomever you interact, you should be gentle. Then, maunam. Moderation of speech. Do not talk unnecessarily. In most of the, I am reading a portion. What is that portion? Navayogi. Nimi Chakrabarti is talking to, he has asked a question to Navayogis and they are replying. So out of that I am telling you what Prabuddha, the yogi, has said. But throughout Bhagavatam, at various places, similar question has been asked, and similar, little bit here and there, has been replied. Why they have repeated it so much? Because repeatedly when we hear, it remains in the mind. Just like our, preparing for our exams. When we prepare for our exams, any chapter we have to repeat so many times. Unless we read it so many times, it doesn't remain in the head. Similarly, you have to make an effort. If we have to have bhakti, you have to grow in bhakti. Yes, we are bhaktas. We like God, we love God, we want to see puja, we want to take part in preparation for a puja. I remember that when we were young, we would go for Durga Puja, doing so many, helping our mothers, cleaning the Durga grass, pasting chandan, so many things we would be doing. So those, early morning going, or Saraswati Puja in the school. So everybody has those kind of, or any puja in the house, Satyanarayan Puja. So preparation itself makes the mind very delighted, full of bhakti. But all these things, in doing all these things, our mind should be filled with bhakti, and we should also gain these qualities. It is that manaprasadaha, saumyatvam, maunam. We should not talk unnecessarily, only what is necessary. Atma vinigraha, control of oneself. The mind should be controlled, the senses should be controlled. And the most important is bhava samshuddhihi. What is bhava samshuddhihi? What the mind thinks. Constantly we are thinking something. Sometimes we are thinking of somebody whom we love very much. Sometimes we are thinking about somebody whom we hate very much. Sometimes we are thinking of work which we do not like at all and what we are having to do. Sometimes all our mind is for some work which I am engaged in and I like. This is the bhava. The mind is constantly going from this bhava to that bhava. And two things, either like or dislike, love or hate, sukha or dukkha. So it is constantly shuttling between the two. Bhava samshuddhi. All the negative ones, the undesirable ones, which is not good for you, it has to be purified. It has to be purified. So even this one, even only one shloka can be, see, our topic was devotional pursuit for householders. I am trying to tell you so many things, reading out. You may not read it yourself. So I thought that I will read out this portion. Actually, some of you should start reading. Such a big hall is there. All of you are very much near to this center. Some of you should come and start reading Bhagavatam. Read the Hindi one. The translation is very good. Very, very good. I don't think it has been translated by one person. Maybe part by part some people have done. But most of it, those who have done the translation, has translated from the heart. Their own feelings have come into the translation. That is what a devotee, this Bhagavatam, there is lot of commentary. For any Shastra there are commentaries. The Bhagavatam commentaries, especially on Krishna's childhood, so much of imagination is there. And if you read, I have not read fully, but whatever I have read, I just keep on wondering that what that bhakta is who is writing, what love he has for Krishna, that he is telling so many things about, imagining many things. I am just remembering one, shall I tell? It is going away from my topic. I think it will be, but are you interested in listening? Krishna's mother, all of you know that he was very naughty. So Krishna used to steal makhan from everybody. So everybody would come and complain about him to Yashoda. So Yashoda felt that, why is it that my son always goes and steals makhan? I have understood. See, There are shlokas, 1 or 2 shlokas on this. But what I am telling you is commentary. So, some devotee has expanded it like this. Says, I think in my palace, the servants are making they are only churning the buttermilk, and makhan they are making. So the servant ladies, they are only making. Whereas in the Gopika's houses, they are making themselves. So their makhan must be tasting more. That is why he goes and steals it. So she got a solution. So she thought, no, from now on, I will not allow the servant maids to make the makhan, I will make it myself. So she gets up in the morning. Previous day she has milked a very nice milch cow, and the description should be seen. It is a cow which eats a grass. The name of the grass I've forgotten. It has a name, the grass, which is Sugandha Trinacharini. That cow is Sugandha Trinacharini. That is a grass which is having fragrance. And various other things are also their adjectives. So she has milked that cow herself and kept the milk, boiled the milk, he curdled the milk, and she is sleeping. Early morning she has to get up to churn that buttermilk. Now she is lying by the side of Krishna, and early morning she got up and looked at Krishna and got down from the cot. Krishna was fast asleep. Krishna did not understand mother has left. She took bath and all that, and she kept milk for boiling, that day's milk for boiling, and she started churning the buttermilk. Beautiful description is there, how her bangles are dancing, how her earrings are swinging, and how she is churning her fingers and all that, and how with her lips she is singing about Krishna. So it is saying that with our body, with our mind, with our bhakya, words, we must think of God. That is what she was doing. Her hands, that is a part of the body, is churning the buttermilk, and her lips are singing about Krishna, and her mind is thinking about the beautiful form of Krishna. Now, Krishna suddenly got up, and he did not see the mother. So he got down and found mother and sat on mother's lap and said that, I want to give me milk. So she started breastfeeding, and then there also the description of how Krishna is, fondling the breasts of the mother and suckling the milk and all that. Meanwhile, she sees that the pot which was on the oven is overflowing because it's got boiled. So she just keeps Krishna on the floor and goes there to take the pot out of the oven. And Krishna gets annoyed. Why? Mother has gone away. And with anger, she just looked here and there, and whatever makhan the mother has collected, that pot he threw, and all the butter got spread, and with swollen lips, he went away from there. When he went, his feet were on the butter. So he stepped on the butter and went away. And he went straight to the room where all butter and other things, ghee, etc. are kept. He went there and he found that some things are hanging from the ceiling, some are there on the pot. So this is the door where from he entered, and there is a door that side. He opened the door, and the monkeys were his best friends. Seeing that he has got into this room, the monkeys all entered. So he started taking the butter from the pots and eating and giving to the monkeys also. Now Yashoda comes back and doesn't find the son. So Yashoda sees that no son, where is he gone? And she sees small footsteps, because he had stepped on the butter, and those footsteps had gone into that room. So she went, and Krishna's back was to the door. She was busy eating makhan and distributing makhan to monkeys. So Yashoda saw from a distance and she took a stick. Now seeing Yashoda approaching, the monkeys could see her from that other door. All monkeys with their tails went away. They just jumped onto the trees. Then Krishna thought, what has happened? And looked and saw the mother. So he also started running. Then Krishna goes behind him. It's a very beautiful shloka. All these are commentaries, very beautifully written. I don't think I've expressed so well. But the one shloka is there where it says that Krishna, who gives fearlessness to everybody, is now afraid of his mother and crying. So Krishna is crying. Krishna is saying, and Krishna is saying, what did I do? I did not do anything. It is you who, when you put me from your lap onto the floor, with your feet only that pot had got broken, and it is you who has broken it, I have not broken, and all that. Her mother says, no, today I am going to give you a punishment. Every day I am getting complaints about you. Today I have got you red-handed. So, and there all the things used to be kept for puja. It was for puja only they used to keep, and you have made everything uchishta. Ultimately Krishna starts running. Yashoda starts running. He is not able to catch him. Ultimately, the actual shloka is that Krishna Krishna felt pity on her mother. That mother was heaving, gasping, her hair had gone loose. She was not able to go behind him and catch him. So became very pitiful that mother has become very tired. So he allowed himself to get bound. So a person, that Krishna, the Supreme Lord, who gives liberation to everybody, got bound by his own mother. Those beautiful slokas are there. These slokas, when we read, read with a lot of interest. It gives you that feeling of the Lord in the heart. Maybe for a moment, but it gives. So, what I wanted to, actually I started with this, and another thing I forgot, what I wanted to say. And what I was saying. So there is another, then Krishna one day is playing in the courtyard, nobody is there. Mother has said, don't go out of the courtyard. So he is playing there. From outside, one fruit seller lady is going. About this fruit seller lady, there are only 2 slokas in Bhagavatam, but it has been expanded. So what is that? The fruit seller lady is saying, who will buy fruit and all that? Krishna wants the fruit. So he sees here, there, mother is not to be seen anywhere. So he thinks that some money is necessary, he doesn't have. So at the corner of the courtyard there was heap of paddy, which was kept for drying. So he took in his small hand a little bit of paddy and went out. And while going in his small palm, how much paddy will be there? That too, most of it fell. 2 or 3 danas were left. So he says and goes and says, I want the fruits. So she said, the lady said, but to buy the fruits you need money. Do you have money? So he just stands like this and says, why? Why are you asking money from me? Whatever I want, my mother and all the neighboring ladies, whenever I want anything, they give me. They don't ask money from me. So why are you asking? So the manner in which Krishna was saying this lady, had something happened in her heart. And she was full with bhakti. And then she said, okay, I will give you. If you sit on my lap for a while and you call me mother, then I will give you. So Krishna thought, will it be right to sit on a lap? Mother has told me not to go to anybody unknown and not to speak of sitting on the lap and calling mother. But he was so much tempted to get the fruits that she thought, what will happen? Nobody is here. I will just sit and then I will ask for the fruits. So he sat, and it all changed the seller, fruit seller. She was full with bhakti, and she was shedding tears. And then Krishna said, "Give me the fruits." He gave all the fruits to him. And whatever he could hold in his 2 hands, he took and went away. And this lady was thinking, who is this? See what has happened to me. Now where will I go? Where will I keep so much of love and so much of bhakti? What will I do? And suddenly, so she anyway thought that I'll go back. And she tried to take the basket. And the basket she found is full of jewels. Then he understood that in return, Krishna has given jewels. She started saying, I don't want all this. I want only bhakti for you, O Lord. And like that, she left the place. Nobody knows where she went. Like this, that commentaries are so beautiful. So the bhaktas who have written that, I sometimes wonder that in what state of mind they must have written it. I'll take another 5 minutes. It is not over. Anyway, so next is ahimsa, samatva to the dvandvas. That is, keep your mind always even-minded to sukha and dukkha, to likes and dislikes. See God everywhere. Sarvatra atmeshwaranviksham. Kaivalyam aniketatam. Consider that nothing belongs to you. The house where you are staying, it is not yours. See, in Bhagavad Gita there is a sloka in 12th chapter where this word aniketa comes. So one day when we were chanting, I asked Swamiji later, Swamiji, aniketa means not having any house of your own. But I have left my house. I left everything, but I have come to an ashram, and I have some shelter over my head. So how can I call myself aniketa? Everything is there. I am getting food, I am getting a shelter, I am getting and clothes to wear. Everything is being looked after. So how can I call myself aniketa? Swamiji said, you need not roam about like the wandering monks, begging alms from here and there, to prove that you have the quality of aniketatva. It is enough that you think about this, introspect on this word, and feel always that you are an aniketa. At any time, if necessary, you can leave and go, even the ashram. So this aniketata, it is just like staying in the platform, railway platform, any time, wherever we are staying. Maybe we are staying in a very nice manner. Aniketata will be at practice if we feel always that we are sitting at the railway platform. Anytime the train will come, I will get into it and go. This is what. Vivikta chira vasanam santosham yena kenachit. And have dress only as much necessary for yourself. Santosham yena kenachit. This is very important. In whichever manner, be contented. Be contented. Let not the mind always look for something. Always it looks for something. It is not contented. Ye chahiye, nahi chahiye. We feel peaceful, but still we feel that, oh, if something else, I want that or this, will be always there. If we do not have santosha, then there will be agitation. And when we have santosha, then always we will have nirantara ananda rasena triptaha. Always there will be an ananda rasa in the mind. Kridati nandati swayam. Swasmin sada kridati nandati swayam. In Vivekachudamani it is said that there is a fountain of joy inside. If you can touch it, then you will find that your mind is rejoicing there without any object. Always our joy is from an object. I want to eat this, if I get it, I am happy. I want to buy this, if I buy it, I am happy. So always it is dependent on an object. But the joy is there inside us. Like a fountain, it is coming up. We do not look inside, that is why we do not get it. And when we look inside and we rejoice in that joy, Nirantara Ananda Rasena Triptaha, we will experience the Ananda Rasa and we will become contented. Shravanam Kirtanam Dhyanam Harer Adbhuta Karmanaha Janma Karma Gunanam Cha Tadarthe Kila Cheshtitam. Always hear about him, do Kirtana, do Dhyana. Dhyana is very, very important. Listen, sing, read, introspect. About what? About God. About what all he has done, his sports, his leelas, his excellences. And always when you hear, what will happen? That is why it is said that you go to the holy people. They will be talking about this. When they talk about this, what will happen? Hrit karna rasayanaha kathaha. The things which will enter through your ear, that will be hrit karna rasayanaha katha. That will be a nectarine thing for your heart and mind. It will enter through your ear and it will go into your mind and heart, and it is just like a nectar. Ishtam dattam tapo japtam vrittam yatchatmana priyam daran sutan grihan pranan yat parasmai nivedanam. We have talked about it. It is saying again that everything, all your sacrifices, all your charity, all your tapasya, all your japa, all your good conduct, everything, also whatever is very priya to you, whatever is very dear to you. What are very dear? Wife, children, house, and your own prana. Everything you offer to God. Offer to God means remembering that, oh God, it is given by you. I have not done anything. Just like the trees, the rivers, the akasha, the wind, everything is your creation. Exactly like that, whatever you have given me, or even my prana, it is given by you. So it is to be offered to you only. Parasparanu kathanam pavanam Bhagavad Yashaha mitho ratihi mithas tushtihi nirvriti mitham atmanaha. Not only that you should hear and you read, you should tell others. Whenever like-minded people are there, get some people and discuss between yourselves. Discuss between yourselves what you have read. Or at least husband and wife, they can tell each other that, I read this. It is very important, very nice. I felt very happy. Or your feelings you can tell. Or the parents can tell the children. We do not do that. When we get together with our friends, we talk about all worldly matters. Smarantaha smarayantascha mitho gaugharam harim bhaktya sanjataya bhaktya vibhratyutpulaka tanum. Smarantaha smarayantascha. Remember as well as make others remember. About whom? About the Supreme Lord. The Lord who takes away all impurities and brings about bhakti in your heart. When you will hear about him, think about him, tell about others, that is, you are constantly dealing with that person. And what will be the result? The result will be ratihi. First of all, ratihi. Love for him. Delight and love for him. Tushtihi. You will be very pleased. And nirvriti. All other desires will be completely gone. You will feel, when will I hear? When will I sit with my book? When will I do some dhyana? When will some people come with whom I can discuss these things? Ramakrishna Dev, he used to go to the top of the floor and used to call, "Where are you? All people come," because he wanted to tell them about God. So, it will be that kind of a feeling you will have. Then what will happen? Kvachit rudanti achyuta chintaya kvachit. Kvachit hasanti nandati vadanti alokikaha. Nrityanti gayanti anushīlayantyajam bhavanti tushnim parametya nirvritaha. Sometimes you will feel that I am doing so much. I am reading, I am listening, I am thinking about God, I am praying, I am doing kirtan. Still I am not getting His touch. Still I am not getting His touch. That helplessness will bring tears to the eyes. Kvachit rudanti, achyuta chintaya, kvachit hasanti. And sometimes you will feel, thinking about Him, you will feel like laughing. Sometimes you will be full of ananda. Sometimes you will feel like talking about His various deeds. Sometimes you will feel like dancing. When after the yajna, when they sing, "Kya hathi ghora pal ki, jai kanhaiya lal ki." So everybody wants like dance, feels like dancing. Why? Because they see Swamiji is also dancing. That dance, it goes into our hearts and we feel like dancing. Nrityanti gayanti. Sometimes we sing. Anushīlayantyajam. Sometimes we feel like imitating what Krishna has done. Bhavanti tushnim parametya nirvritaha. And at last everything goes away. You will find your eyes have closed and you have gone deep within yourself, touching that inner Lord who is inside. This will happen. It has to happen. Adhoksha jalambham. It is called the alingana of adhokshaja. Alingana. Tad brahma nirvana sukham vidurbudhaha. The wise people say that when we grow this kind of a bhakti and we become absorbed in ourselves within our own heart, then we get the alingana of adhokshaja, Sri Hari, and that is called Brahma Nirvana Sukham. It is called Brahma Sparsham. Tato bhajadhvam hridaye hridishwaram. So, worship Him inside your own heart. Feel Him inside. Feel Him inside. All the work that we do, everything that we do, we have to only think that He is there everywhere. And in everything, every moment, every breath He is there. And I am getting His touch. Want it. We must want it. Then only that will happen. Even if we do not want, I found one sloka in Bhagavatam, even if people are half-heartedly doing, sometimes lot of bhakti, sometimes no bhakti at all, still let them worship. Slowly one day bhakti will increase and they will also reach that state which the books are saying. Okay. Adhokshajalambhamihashubhatmanah sharirina samsriti chakrashatanam tad brahma nirvana sukham vidurbudhaha tato bhajadhvam hridaye hridishwaram tato bhajadhvam hridaye hridishwaram. Jai Guru, Jai Guru, Jai Guru.